is one of the Earth's ways of relieving the tremendous pressure that builds up under the crust or surface of the Earth. When the pressure is great enough, rocks, gas, and lava shoot up out of a vent or hole. When this happens in the ocean, sometimes a new island is born. In places like Hawaii, lava flows over the land and hits the ocean. The hot lava hardens as it hits the cool ocean water. This event not only creates a huge plume of smoke, but it also creates new land. How volcanoes are formed. The Earth is made of 3 layers: the inner core, the middle layer called the mantle, and the outer layer called the crust. Pressure builds up below the crust, and hot molten rock called magma begins to work its way up to the surface of the Earth. The pressure is strong enough to open a hole in the surface of the Earth. This hole is called a vent, and this event is called a volcanic eruption. When the hot magma shoots out of the Earth, we call it lava. Along with the lava comes ash and gas. Tectonic plates. The Earth's surface or crust is made up of large chunks or pieces called tectonic plates. Imagine the Earth as a globe made out of pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. These pieces of the puzzle can sometimes move and bump into each other. The edges of these plates are rough, so when they bump into each other or slide against each other, it results in volcanoes and earthquakes. These tectonic plates move all the time, which explains why we hear about volcanoes and earthquakes from time to time in the news. The stages of a volcano. There are 3 different stages of a volcano: active, dormant, and extinct. An active volcano has erupted recently and might still be erupting. Kilauea on the Big Island in the state of Hawaii in the U.S. is an example of an active volcano. A dormant volcano has not erupted for a while, but it might erupt at any time. Mount Rainier in the state of Washington in the U.S. is an example of a dormant volcano. An extinct volcano erupted a long time ago and probably won't erupt again. Edinburgh Castle in Scotland sits on top of an extinct volcano. Types of volcanoes. There are 4 different types of volcanoes. A cinder cone is shaped like a circle. It is made from bits of lava that came out of a single vent, then cooled and fell back down around the vent. A composite volcano, like Mount St. Helens, has steep sides made of many layers of ash, lava, and rocks. A shield volcano is shaped like a bowl and has long slopes that were made by lava flows. A lava volcano is formed when the lava is too thick to flow, so it builds up a steep mound around the vent. Number of volcanoes. Today there are over 1,500 active volcanoes around our planet. There are more than 400 active volcanoes around the rim of the Pacific Ocean. This rim is called the Ring of Fire. Other volcanoes are found in different places around the world. Mount Etna and Mount Vesuvius in Italy are located near the Mediterranean Sea. Mount Erebus is located in Antarctica. Soufriere Hills are on the island of Montserrat in the Caribbean Sea, and Lakagia is in Iceland in the Atlantic Ocean. Scientists also know that there are at least 80 active volcanoes under the oceans. The Ring of Fire. The ring of fire is the name that is given to the area around the rim of the Pacific Ocean. It is around this ring that many volcanoes and earthquakes happen on a regular basis. The Pacific Rim is where over 50% of the world's active and dormant volcanoes are found. Volcanoes are found in Alaska, Indonesia, Japan, and along the Andes in South America. It is also the place where 90% of the world's earthquakes happen. There is so much activity here because the tectonic plates frequently move in this area of the world. Pyroclastic flow. Pyroclastic refers to the pieces of rock that shoot up out of a volcano. A pyroclastic flow happens when there is a mixture of solid pieces of rock, semi-solid pieces of rock, and hot gases all moving together down the sides of a volcano. This mixture is extremely destructive because a massive amount can move down the side of a volcano like a snow avalanche, and it can travel as fast as the winds of a hurricane. This is the most dangerous kind of volcanic activity. Famous volcanoes. In 1883, Krakatoa produced one of the biggest explosions in the world. It was the loudest sound in recorded history and could be heard 2,300 miles away in Australia. Mount Fuji is a well-known volcano that last erupted in 1708. Mount Pelée erupted on the Caribbean island of Martinique in 1902 and was one of the biggest eruptions of the 20th century. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius buried Pompeii, a city in the ancient Roman Empire. When Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980, it was the biggest volcanic event in American history. Tsunamis. A tsunami is a large wave that is caused by a volcanic eruption or by an earthquake. This can be dangerous, especially if the tsunami occurs near the same area where the volcano or earthquake happened. Water moves straight in from the ocean and covers coastal areas, taking things with it like cars and other large objects. When it begins to recede back away from the coastal region, it carries the same kinds of things with it. Volcanic terminology. Lahar is a kind of pyroclastic flow that is liquid when it moves, but becomes as hard as cement when it stops. Lava is magma or liquid rock after it comes out of a volcano. Magma is the hot liquid rock while it is still under the crust or surface of the earth. Pumice is a kind of volcanic rock that is formed during an eruption. It looks like a sponge. It is porous because of the gases that bubble through the hot rock. Safety tips. There are many things that can happen when a volcano erupts. Ash in the air, earthquakes, flash floods, mudslides, pyroclastic flows, and tsunamis. Make sure to have an emergency kit that includes bottled water, canned food, and a non-electric can opener, a flashlight, a battery-operated radio, a first aid kit, strong shoes, protective clothes, goggles, and a dust mask. When the police tell you to evacuate, follow their orders. Ash needs to be removed from roofs because it can become very heavy and cause damage. Interesting facts. The dangerous area around a volcano extends for a 20-mile radius. The word volcano comes from Vulcan, the name of the Roman god of fire. Volcanic lightning is rare, but it is caused by ash rushing to the surface. Most volcanoes are found near the edges of tectonic plates. About 80% of our planet's surface came from volcanic activity. Olympus Mons on the planet Mars is one of the biggest volcanoes in our solar system. The sounds that a volcano produces can range from quiet hissing sounds to loud explosions. Interesting facts. Volcanic eruptions produce several kinds of gases, including carbon dioxide, hydrogen chloride, hydrogen fluoride, hydrogen sulfide, and sulfur dioxide. The most deadly volcanic eruptions have happened in Indonesia, a country that is part of the Ring of Fire. Ash from an eruption can go as high as 17 miles up into the sky. Ash can make breathing difficult, especially for babies and elderly people. Pumice can float in water. It is also used to remove dry skin from people's bodies.